What's good, fam? It's your man Stephen Bardo with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. We have half of the Final Four set. Loyola takes care of Kansas State in the first game, and Michigan holds on against Florida State in the second game. It's what a run for the Michigan Wolverines. Helen Bardo Levins, what's up? Love you. Jim Dyke, it's good to see you. Joe Stovall, what's good? Kevin McDuffie, hats off to Michigan. No, Kevin, you weren't wrong. Florida State played their tail off. Kevin Nicholson, what a game. Helen Bardo Levin says. JP, what's up, my man? Out in Cali holding it down. Billy Hillbring. Let me go back up here. Kevin, you weren't wrong. That was a good game, man. Florida State played their tail off. Kudos to the Michigan Wolverines. Going to the Final Four, Billy Hillbring, Billy Darling, what's good? Jill Brown-Smith, Geeta Millman, Geeta, how you doing? Douglas Braun, go blue. Vincent Butler. Listen, did you guys see the post-game interview with Dana Jacobson and head coach of Florida State, Leonard Hamilton? I felt bad for both parties involved. Yes, Kevin Nicholson, it will be a good game. I wondered if you guys saw that interview, Lamont DeWalt. JP says, when will Georgetown be a national powerhouse again? He's obviously a Georgetown fan, as you can see. Barkley predicted Florida State, says Jim Dyke. Is Avery Henry. What's up, Doc? Good to see you on here, my man. So I'm not into conspiracy theories at all, but I want to make you all aware of something. If you go on Twitter, you're going to see a firestorm taking place right now. The spread on the game was 4.5 points. I was a little confused why Florida State did not foul, and there was about a 10 or 11 seconds there. It just kind of surprised me. James Hill was good. And Dana Jacobson, I know Dana. I've worked with Dana before when we were both at ESPN. And she had to do her job. But she asked Leonard Hamilton, you're right, Jill Brown-Smith, it was uncomfortable. But they both kind of pulled back together and they finished the interview. But she asked him, why didn't you foul with 10 seconds left? That was the first thing I thought. You have to extend the game as much as you can. I know Florida State didn't have any timeouts, but it was a little strange that when Duncan Robinson got the basketball, even though he had made 2 shots, there was still 10 seconds left on the clock. Why didn't Florida State foul? And if you notice, Coach Hamilton started walking up the sideline before the time was even out. I don't know if he was exhausted. I don't know if he knew something we didn't. But it's really strange because Vegas watches all this stuff. Gerald Stewart, thanks for jumping on. And the fact that they didn't foul with 10 seconds left, down 4 points, and although Duncan Robinson had made 2 free throws previously, Michigan is not a very good free throw shooting team. You heard me say that at halftime, that this game could possibly come down to free throws, and Michigan had some misses there that allowed Florida State to get back in the game. So just a strange thing there. An unfortunate situation for Leonard Hamilton to have to face the music on national television after a very tough loss. A tough situation for Dana Jacobson, but she's a pro. She had to ask the question because that's what everybody was asking. And, I don't know. Dad, what did Kenny Smith say? Because I didn't see what he said. Can you type that in, please? He said Leonard Hamilton coached in the NBA. I agree with Kenny Smith. I wasn't able to see what they said. And obviously, you can tell that this is going to be a controversy moving forward. Because there was most basketball people were like, oh, it would have taken a miracle. Well, that's what March Madness is all about, Doc. I mean, until the clock hits 0, I'm fouling. Insulting to Leonard Hamilton's outstanding coaching. Billy Hillbring, I see that. I understand that. I'm just saying from that point, I'm not insinuating anything because I'm a Leonard Hamilton fan. I'm a supporter of his. I just thought it was a little strange. And now the fact that Twitter has jumped on it, this is going to be something that you're going to hear tomorrow before the games, before Villanova and Texas Tech, a 1:20 tip-off start Central Time. and then Kansas and Duke will follow that about 45 minutes after the completion of that game. So just had to bring it up because it's a firestorm right now on social media, and that's going to be the talk that you guys will hear moving forward. But great job by Leonard Hamilton, in my opinion. James Hill says Florida State could have won that game. I think they could have. Michigan did a great job defensively down the stretch. They were outstanding. They didn't shoot the three like they normally do. They missed some free throws, but their defense was stellar. Just like Michigan has been all season long, their defense really won this game for them. Brian Stark, thanks for jumping on. Michigan better watch out. Nobody expected Loyola out of the first round. They're for real. Oh, Kevin Nicholson, look. The assistant coach for Michigan, I think it's pronounced Yaklich. Yaklich was an assistant at Illinois State. He knows this Loyola team very well. And if you heard what John Beilein said in the post-game press conference, he said, I haven't looked at a second of Loyola, but my assistant, who used to be in the Valley, told me that they're excellent. They have shooters on the floor, so they're very aware and they respect Loyola. They're not going to overlook them because Yaklich was an assistant at Illinois State. He actually played at Illinois State, was a high school coach, and then became an assistant under Muller, and then he was an associate head coach, and then moved over to Michigan. So they're not going to overlook them at all. Kevin McDuffie was good. Howard Gates, what's good, Howard? C-Dale in the house, baby. Harold, that's what he just said, Dad. Okay, all right. So Bob Kelsey Jr., Jerome Rochelle. Yeah, Jim, they're going to run with this one. JP, you a fool. Rob McDonnell, this has been the most parity-driven tournament of all time. Got to love it. I agree. I like the outcome. Dad, he was gracious in defeat. He looked like he was about to walk off. And you know what? Here's the thing. I saw Bonnie Bernstein ask Roy Williams a question after they were beaten in the national championship game. I thought it bordered on the line of going too much, but she asked him about the North Carolina job. He was the coach at Kansas. I bet you guys remember this. Roy Williams was the coach of Kansas, and it might have been, it wasn't Syracuse, but they were beaten by somebody in the national championship game. Bonnie Bernstein asked, there's rumors out there about your interest in North Carolina. And Roy Williams said, I don't give a damn about who you're talking to back there, who's in your ear. I got kids whose hearts are broken in the locker room that I need to deal with. So, Dad, you're exactly right. I thought Leonard Hamilton was gracious in defeat, and he showed a lot of composure because if you all know that look, especially with the black people on here, you know that look that he gave Dana Jacobson. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so, but he handled himself well. It was a tough situation all around. That's part of sports. That's why we love sports. Because there's nowhere in society that you are put on the spot that fast on national television after a crushing loss. So kudos to both of them for that. No, Vincent Butler, he didn't have any timeouts left. But the question is, why didn't they foul? It wasn't that if they had any timeouts left. The question was that he didn't have any timeouts, but you still extend the game. Helen Bardo 11 says those free throws, talking about Michigan could give them some problems. It could, Helen, if it comes down to the Yaklich. Thank you, Sean Bacon. I said Yakli. It's Yaklich. Thank you. Yeah, there were no timeouts, but you still have to try to foul. Big Ten versus the Valley. Your thoughts? Avery Henry says. The key matchup in that one will be Ludwig, the freshman big of Loyola, against Mo Wagner and John Teskey of Michigan. The bigs of Michigan versus that freshman big of Loyola. And here's why I say that. Because Loyola's been able to be successful in their last few games going small because Kansas State doesn't have a Mo Wagner type. They didn't have a John Teskey. Malwin, I think that's his name. He was ineffective to start the game, and they took him out when they went to him early. He went to a couple jump hooks. He took a couple shots. He wasn't hitting, and his teammates didn't go back to him. That's not going to be the case with Michigan. They moved Mo Wagner all over the floor. run him into the post, bring him at the top of the key, isolate him on the wing where he can go one-on-one off the bounce. It's going to be interesting to see how Loyola deals with this. They play great pack line defense. So I have I have an idea that Porter Moser and his staff will watch as many tapes as they can of Michigan, and when they start to move Wagner around, he's got to see headlights, meaning that not only will he see his defender, but he's going to see help side defense. The problem with that is Michigan spaces the floor as well as any team left in the tournament. So if he is seeing headlights, Mo Wagner is skilled enough to put it on the deck and go, and when the double team comes, he can kick to a shooter. And if Michigan is shooting their threes, which they weren't particularly well tonight, shooting their threes, that could be an issue. But it's going to be a fantastic matchup regardless. And I would not be surprised if Loyola won. Jerome Rochelle, Florida State big men were weak on offense. They've been like that all season, Jerome. You're right. Aaron Janowski, perimeter defense from both teams were on point. Michigan shot .188 from three. Florida State shot .270 from behind the arc. Great call there. Billy Hilbring, Michigan did not play well, and they have pitfalls like this. They've been lucky when they play bad, but it won't work if they play in a national championship. Billy, here's the thing. Great defensive teams can overcome a lot. If your shot's not there, if you turn the ball over a little bit, and we saw it even tonight, even if your free throws aren't going well, if you can lock people down, it covers up for a lot of stuff. So my thinking is that Michigan doesn't look like they played well because they play great competition. You know, once you get in the tournament, these teams, there's a different level of energy, of intensity once you get to the tournament. It's not that Michigan has been playing that poorly. They played good teams. Texas A&M, they blew them out. That was an aberration. That typically doesn't happen at the Sweet 16 level, right? But Florida State's an excellent team, excellent defensive team. You saw that. Houston was an excellent 6th seed. They, I believe they beat Cincinnati this year. I'm not sure if they beat Wichita State or not, but Houston was an excellent team. Rob Gray may have been the best guard in the tournament outside of Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. So Michigan may have looked like they weren't playing well, but they're playing excellent teams. So I think they're going to be okay. I like your point, though. I like your point. Thank you, Kevin Nicholson. Florida State settled for outside shot too much down the stretch. I agree, Kevin. I thought they could have gotten to the rim. But again, Michigan had something to do with that defensively. Just very, very sound defensively. Number 3 defensive efficiency in the nation, and that's been consistent all year. Anastasia Walker, it was a fair question. It had to be asked. JP, that's exactly the look that he gave her. Rick Fleur Paul, thanks for joining. Joseph Zimby, what's up? C-Dale in the house. How you doing, Joe? Yeah, no. Kenji, that's why I brought it up. This is why I brought it up. I'm trying to give you guys, I know some of you thought that. I know Coach Conley thought that. 11 seconds left and you're only down 4. You've got to foul. And it was a legit question. That's why I said Dana Jacobson. I know Dana personally. Work with her. That's a pro. You have to ask those questions. Because, you know, these things right here, this is what we have to wear. This earpiece right here. And whenever you have an earpiece, when I'm doing my videos like I'm doing now with Yahoo, covering the tournament, and we do our videos, I've got a producer in my ear. Dana Jacobson had somebody in her ear telling her, make sure you ask this question. And the tough thing is, when you're wearing these, sometimes they're talking to you. You have to listen while sometimes you're talking and sometimes you're trying to interview someone else. It's a very unique skill set that I'm not great at, but Dana's excellent at. She had to ask a question. So I agree. Legit question. Terrell Middleton, thanks for jumping on. Jim Dykes asked, who do you like between Kansas and Duke? I think it's razor thin margin. I think that Azubuike had a very good game. It looks like his knee is in much better shape. DeSouza played very well in Kansas's win. And so I think I don't think that Wendell Carter and Marvin Bagley III will have as much of it as an advantage as I would have said a week ago, because Azubuike, his knee still, he wasn't near 100%, but he balled out in the round of Sweet 16. So I still give Wendell Carter and Bagley the advantage. But outside of that, Duke has excellent perimeter. Gary Trent Jr. can shoot it, big guard. Grayson Allen, obviously a veteran, a senior. He's been tournament MVP before. It's going to be a great matchup. But I tell you what, I give the perimeter advantage to Kansas, basically because LeGerald Vick and Malik Newman are playing extremely well. They're dynamic athletes, both of them. So they can get to the rim and put one on your dome. They can shoot the three. They can dribble, drive, collapse the D, and kick. And Devontae Graham, outside of Jalen Brunson at Villanova, to me, is one of the clutch players in college basketball. So that's going to be a fantastic game. So the edge up front, on the front court, goes to Duke. The edge in the back court, in my opinion, goes to Kansas. And neither team is that deep. So players like Mikhailuk, he's going to be a key. If Mikhailuk can get off, because Mikhailuk can not only shoot the three, he's put it on the deck and get to the hole. He's got great size for a wing player. So he's going to be the key matchup. Who does Duke put on him? It might be Grayson Allen. It might be Gary Trent Jr. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. I give the slight edge right now to Duke. Slight edge. But Kansas could very well very easily win that one. Oh, Avery Henry. Yes, it is a family affair on here, Avery. It's a Carbondale Love Fest. Yes, we all knew what Leonard Hamilton was thinking. Derek Walton Sr., are you going to make it down to San Antonio? Go blue, as you would say. And I know the Illini fans want to hit me with darts for saying that, but congratulations to Michigan. Kevin McDuffie, Kansas Nova winner, wins the title. So Kevin McDuffie has Kansas beating Duke, Nova beating Texas Tech. A lot of people would think that. Vincent Butler, you got to play to the wire. If you're tired or not, you do. I've always been taught that way. My dad and Dr. Seymour Bryson were my first coaches, and Avery Henry, Gordon Welch, Craig Bardo, Helen Bardo, Robin Bryson. I can't get my man Todd Bryson on there because he's a little scared of getting on Facebook, and you all can figure it out. But our first coaches, that's how we played. That's how we were taught to play. And so, all the way through Lou Henson to Larry Brown in the NBA, to my coaches overseas, we just played to the buzzer sounded. And so, I'm sure he had a reason. I'm not knocking him. I just brought it up, and I wanted to see what you all thought. D'Angelo Macklin, C-Dale in the house, was good. Jim Dykes says, don't think Texas Tech can hang with Villanova. Love Brunson, great motor. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. But like I said last night, Villanova was very fortunate to have the opponent in West Virginia that they had in preparation for Texas Tech, because now you're going against two Big 12 teams that have a little bit similar style. Texas Tech doesn't press quite as much, but they have depth similar to West Virginia. They have great athletes, probably better athletes actually than West Virginia outside of Kanate, and they can try to wear you down. So Villanova has already they got past West Virginia in impressive fashion, put 90 on them. So look for a high-scoring game there. Okay, Derek Walton Sr., I'll see you in San Antonio as well. Make sure we connect. Sean Bacon, what's good? Thanks for the live feed. Missed the games due to sick wife and daughter. Sorry to hear that. Thank you, Joe. I hope your family feels better. Glad you could get on here. Dr. Harold Bardo says Loyola has Drew Valentine on their coaching staff, who is Denzel Valentine's older brother. Played at Oakland University, coached at Oakland, and was with the Michigan State staff before coming over to Loyola. So Dad giving us some background on that. Jim Dykes, Tech can play with anyone, but I like Nova, says Kevin McDuffie. If Loyola keeps the turnovers low, switches defensively, and stays with pack line defense, they have a real good chance. I agree, Kenji. Coach Conley, I agree. Craig Bardo, what's up? Brianna Whitler, thanks for joining. Rob McDaniel says Michigan's threes were horrible, and they still won. That's what I'm talking about. Michigan, historically, Beeline's teams are known as a three-point shooting team. Yes, and they can do it. But their defense, this is the best defensive team Beeline has had at Michigan. And you saw it. Florida State will make a lot of teams look bad, but Michigan's defense pulled them out. Angela Karpinski, thanks for joining. Brian Cross, what's good? Oliver Lewis, what's happening? You need people who can put the ball in the basket. Defense can carry you only so far. Yeah, I agree with that, Dad. He's talking about Kansas State. But, you know, Sneed and Brown were excellent in the round of the Sweet 16. They just ran up into a really veteran, confident Loyola team that is one of the best offensive teams in the business. Mark Adams, what's going on, Mark? How you doing? Enthusi Adams. Mark, what'd you think of tonight's games? Craig, I can't see the rest of what you said. Oh, you just said just because you just like starting stuff. Jim Brickle, good to see you on here. Jay Zimmerman, what's good? Joel Colson-Koppel, thanks for jumping on. Craig Bardo, you hate Duke, so you're going to go with the Jayhawks? Is that what it is? You won't be alone. You will not be alone. Duke is probably, I'd say Duke and Kentucky are probably the most divisive programs. You either love them or hate them. But Duke is really talented. You better get them if you want to. In the end, as you say, today's schedule, your bigger conference make it very difficult. George Gershon. Hey, George, how you doing, man? What's going on? Allen going to trip. Kevin McDuffie, you fool, man. Grayson Allen's going to trip Devontae Graham. I sure hope not, because that would take away from this great tournament. But that's funny. George Gershon said, let's go Texas Tech, Red Raiders. Pye Walker, what's good, Pye? When it comes to Kansas Duke, today I got Kansas. Okay. Grayson Allen will cost them the game. He is not mentally tough for these games. Wow. Kenji Conley, I can't believe you said that. You're talking about a guy who was a freshman that pretty much won the game for Duke in a national championship game as a freshman. Yes, he's had his issues. But I think the closer that they get to the ring, I don't think you'll see Grayson Allen have these types of situations. I sure hope not. Because I don't like that stuff to take away from the game on the court. And I don't think you all do either. We can talk about it here. I don't mind. I just hope we don't see it. But you're not alone in that. George Gershon, Tech versus Duke. In the that'll be in the Final Four? Okay. Donovan Lane was good. Vincent Butler says Grayson Allen, Trent Jr. shooting the lights out. Duvall been facilitating. I'm gonna give Duke the edge in the backcourt. Okay, we can agree to disagree. I said a slight edge. Slight edge. They are balling. I'll give you that. They didn't shoot the ball very well though against Syracuse, but they did enough to win. Aaron Vaughn, what's good? Michael Hodnett, good to see you on again. Allen shot like 2 of 8 last night for Duke, Kevin McDuffie says. Kevin McDuffie says Duke loses by 11. Deidre Lacey, what's up, Deidre? How you doing? Good to see you on here. Let's see, Anastasia Walker. I wouldn't sleep on Texas Tech. They haven't gotten the notoriety like other underdogs, but I like them. Anastasia, Texas Tech's not underdog. They were number 2 in the Big 12 this year. And if Keenan Evans didn't have that foot injury, in early February, a lot of people think they would have beaten Kansas to end their consecutive streak of regular season titles. So maybe a lot of people, maybe the casual fan, doesn't know much about Texas Tech, but Keenan Evans is a pro. Probably top 3 point guard with Devontae Graham and Jalen Brunson in the country. Zaire Smith is the most exciting athlete left in the tournament. They go 10 deep. Chris Beard is an outstanding coach. So no, I'm not sleeping. I hope nobody is, but I like how you brought that up. Coach Conley, Vincent Butler, I hear you, but about Grayson, but all great things to say about Trent Jr. He's just poised. Okay. Donovan Lang says the Ramblers keep rolling. The Butler way, they'll be back. Joel Colson Koppel says Butler will be back. We'll see about that. Jeff Dykes think Kendrick Nunn from Oakland can play at next level. Your thoughts? Of course. Kendrick Nunn averaged 15 points a game for Illinois in the Big Ten. Left-handed guard. I believe he finished 3rd or 4th in the country in scoring at Oakland University. Kendrick Nunn can definitely play at the next level. I think there's a spot for him. Kevin McDuffie. Let's see. Craig Bardo says he likes Nova, but Texas Tech is a team that can win it all. Guys, anybody that gets to the Elite Eight can win it. All 8 of these teams could have won a national championship, because really it's all about matchups, and it's whether these 18 to 22-year-olds don't pee down their leg. That's what it is. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just telling you like it is. I played in the Final Four. We were juniors and seniors. Kendall Gill was a junior. I was a junior. Lowell Hamilton a senior. Kenny Battle a senior. Nick Anderson a junior. Marcus Liberty was a sophomore. Irvin Small was a junior. Larry Smith was a junior. Philip Bowman was a junior. And so we were able to calm our nerves, even though we were beaten on last second shot. When you have underclassmen, that's the only thing that I'm tripping on. All 8 of these teams, Florida State could have won a national championship had they gotten past Michigan. It's just, do you have enough upperclassmen to maintain your poise? Or do you have a upperclassman, in the case of Duke, which they have in Grayson Allen, and he is a hothead at times, so that'll be interesting to see. But all of these teams at this point can cut down the nets in San Antonio. So Anastasia Walker and Craig Bardo think similarly about Texas Tech. Okay, Greg Simon. What's good, Greg? ILL in the house. Roger Coker, thanks for jumping on. Joe Stovall said Coach Hamilton knew the game was over. Scored 53 in 39-49. Wasn't going to score 6 in 10 seconds. I don't agree with that, Joe. I don't agree with that. If Duke would have thought about that at Maryland when Jay Williams was playing for Maryland, they wouldn't have come back from 12 down under a minute. So this is college basketball. It's not the NBA. Things like this happen all the time. It happens all the time. And with a chance, I mean, you've played all season long. You've played 36 games. You've played the ACC. You've battled your way. You've won 3 NCAA tournament games. What's 11 more seconds? I don't get it. So I'm not dogging Leonard Hamilton by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying, from a former player and a broadcaster that's been in this business so I've been in this business 18 years. And that was the first thing that came to my mind. So not knocking him, but this is college basketball. It's in the pros. College kids pee down their legs sometimes. It's just what happens. Michigan has a week to prepare for Loyola. Will be a mirror image of the Purdue game in the Big Ten tournament. Interesting. I don't know why you equate Loyola and Purdue. Expound on that if you would, Joe, because I always love your takes. VN nervous then? Should VN be nervous then? Who's VN, Joel? I don't know what VN is. Christy Brown, what's good? Good to see you on here. All the way from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Terry Matzko. Hadn't seen you in a couple days. Thanks for jumping back on, Terry. oh, Villanova beat nervous about tomorrow. No, because they got the top player in the country. They've got a lottery pick in Mikal Bridges. They've got Booth, who was a senior that's been through the wars. He's got a national championship ring. Jalen Brunson, pardon the pun. Jalen Brunson has a national championship ring. Villanova's not scared of anybody. So I don't think they're nervous. They just want to tip it up. Should you be nervous? Sure. It's college basketball. So why not? That's what makes it so fun. It's unpredictable. Oh yeah, Kenji. I think Kendrick Nunn is the next level, no doubt about it. I agree, Avery. Combined talent coaching with Duke is going to be difficult to beat. He says, as much as I agree with Craig, Dukies have been to the dance many times. Not these Dukies. Only one, Grayson Allen. But that's enough, in my opinion, with that type of talent. Coach Conley talks about upperclassmen. You got to talk about Villanova. To me, right now, Villanova is my favorite to win a national championship, Coach Conley. So I know that they're veterans. Pascal is a redshirt junior. Brunson's a junior. Booth's a senior. Mikal Bridges is a junior? Sophomore or junior. DiVincenzo is a sophomore. I'm missing one of the rotation guy who's a junior. So yes, they have veteran play as well. Joey King was good, Joey. You hung in there with Michigan. They pulled through. So Big Ten all day long. Joey, I'm gonna try to add you, man. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can add you on here. Oh, can't bring you on. You guys press the button or something because it says I can add you, and then when I try to add you, I can't. Because I'd love to bring you on. It is. Oh, okay. We're doing okay on time. You guys are on here, man. So this is great. Roger Coker, yes, fantastic tournament thus far. I totally agree. Bob Kelsey is singing the praises of Loyola. Relentless defensively, not afraid to drive to the hoop. I think he's referring to them going to the other side of the rim against Nevada. When they were getting their shots blocked, they were able to protect them. And they know what a great shot is. I agree. No doubt about it. GM Wood was good. GM Wood. Rob McDaniel, college players train until they get it right. Professionals train until they don't get it wrong. One person, that's interesting, Rob. One guy told me college basketball is about mistakes and the pros are about making plays. So you might be onto something there. Let's see. Sherry Robertson, thanks for jumping on. GM Wood says Loyola is the ultimate definition of team ball. Couldn't agree more. Any word on Mac about the Louisville job? I know he interviewed, but I haven't heard anything. So he might be waiting to see if Xavier, he might not want the opportunity, first of all, but if he does, he's probably waiting to see if Xavier will match, is my guess. Nova, Big East, cutting down the nets. Billy Hilbring, that's what I got thus far. Michael Hodnett, go blue. Excellent tournament, even though my Cats are out. Christy Brown, I agree with you. Kentucky's youth, I think, got them, Christy, in that situation. Mac ain't leaving, trust me. And Coach Kenji Conley lives in Ohio. He said he ain't leaving. Do I see Jerence Howard taking a head coaching position soon? Kevin, I sure hope so. He had some off-the-court stuff that took place that I think derailed him a little bit. And so he's got to probably bide his time, maybe one more year. But I think at some point he'll get an opportunity for that to take place. It was unfortunate what took place, but take your medicine, go back. I mean, how bad can it be? You're in Kansas. Every year he's been there, they've won the Big 12 championship. He's under a Hall of Fame coach. So although I'm sure he wants his own coaching position, he'll get it. He just got to stay patient. Rod Flowers, thanks for jumping on. How much does that affect him? I mean, you know, when you have some of that stuff off the court, Kevin, athletic directors, they have to vet. They have to vet people. And although it's not as bad as some of the other things that we've seen off the court, it's still a blemish, and that people pay attention to that. So hopefully it won't keep him. I don't think it'll keep him out. Like I said, sometimes when that happens, you kind of got to go away for a minute or go back to where you were or stay where you were, because he was up. I think he was being looked at heavily for that Bradley position when it became open, but he'll get another opportunity. Jalen picked up the block I had and then picked up Villanova. What are your thoughts? Man, I ain't talking about that, Roger. That's in the past. Let's see. Michigan played high straight up and maintained ball pressure on the perimeter. Edward Boys struggled on the perimeter. Loyola will try to run their flex and pick and roll, but Michigan will not. Let me see if I can see the rest. Will not get lost switching on the three-point line. Yeah, but Purdue's a different team than Loyola. And Loyola Purdue shot 40% of the team from three, yes. They had Isaac Haas in the paint, yes. But Loyola's a different animal, because here's why. Dakota Mathias is pretty good off the bounce. Texas Tech took him out, and Michigan took him out of the picture defensively. They pressured him, the length, the athleticism took him out. I'm not sure you're going to see that with Loyola. Richardson, Custer, Ingram, what's the kid's name that was balling against Nevada? Against Towns. All those guys can put the ball on the deck. Not all the guys from P.J. Thompson from Purdue. He's not a guy that you're scared of putting it on the deck and getting to the rim. Loyola is a different animal. All of those guys can put the ball on the deck and get to the rim. So it's going to be interesting. I don't necessarily agree with you on that. Okay, we got Jim Dykes says, no brainer, Louisville or Xavier. Duh, more Louisville and more talented. Jim, you're wrong there. You're not right there. And see, here's the thing. All coaches don't run for more money. They do not. Who wants to come behind Rick Pitino at Louisville? Think about that for a second. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Louisville is a mess right now. And all the money in the world is not going to bring them a national championship as fast as their fan base is going to expect the next coach to do. So ask Mark Few about running from happy. Mark Few is one of the few coaches in college basketball, Greg Marshall is another, that have had opportunities to leave programs to go to the quote-unquote better program. College basketball is different now. Gonzaga, Wichita State, Xavier, they can pay competitive money to Power 6 schools. Ask Mark Adams about that. Mark Adams will tell you that these teams are no longer mid-major. Gonzaga flies charter. Cincinnati, I believe, flies charter. Wichita State flies charter. Xavier flies charter. So if you want to leave the stability of you just won a Big East regular season title, you were number one seed, and yes, you were upset in the tournament. But Xavier has a history of Sweet 16 and Elite 8 runs. And they get the type of talent that Chris Mack wants. So it's a no-brainer. I don't agree with that at all. If I'm Chris Mack, I stay where I am. Maybe if there's another job at a Power 6 that opens up, I would not want to follow Rick Pitino and that mess that's at Louisville right now. I would not want to do it. So Xavier can't throw the money that Louisville can, but they can make it close. And if you can make it close, and your family, which his family is young, he's got young kids, they're established in the Cincinnati area, they are beloved. Chris Mack don't pay for nothing. He won't pay for nothing at Louisville either, but guess what? With the FBI probe and then the ensuing NCAA probe that will come at the completion of the FBI probe, Louisville is going to be a mess for a minute. Xavier, he's got it right where he wants it. So if it's me, I'm not leaving if I'm Chris Mack. Money ain't that important. Joel Colson Koppel, do you ever wish sometimes you could switch gears and talk about the NIT? I want Penn State to win. I've got to be in studio, Joel, Tuesday night after they play in the NIT. So, and I was watching Penn State beat Marquette, and then they went to Notre Dame and won. They went to Marquette and won. And I saw Penn State play in Madison Square Garden during the Big East Conference tournament, and they were outstanding. They stubbed their toe against Purdue, but that Tony Carr is fun to watch. So there you go with the NIT talk. You thought you could stub me, didn't you? Eric Davis was good. Yeah, Kenji Conley, I didn't even see that. Louisville will not be relevant for a while. Let's see. Kevin McDuffie agrees with me. Derek Tyshawn Taylor, thanks for jumping on. Helen Bardo Levins, all money ain't good money. Say that again. Derek Tyshawn Brilliant was good. Donovan Lane, it looks like a lot of people agree with me about the Louisville situation. Big East is on the way up. Xavier, much better job in Louisville. Kevin McDuffie, Big East ain't on the way up. Big East didn't go anywhere. Not this year, but last year, their conference RPI was second in the country. They got 70% of their teams in the NCAA tournament last year. Big East is strong. They're a power conference in terms of basketball. The only reason they're not considered a power conference because they're not a football conference. The Big East is a power conference. So the Big East is here. It ain't on the way up. It's here. Dan Pearson was good. Let's see. Then Jim Dykes says, then who would take Louisville job then? Oh, somebody's going to take it. Don't get me wrong. But you haven't seen a bunch of people's name mentioned, have you? Because one, again, I'm going to tell you, let's put all the stuff aside that's taking place at Louisville, which is tough to do. They lost their AD and they lost a Hall of Fame head coach. It is so difficult. Ask Kevin Ollie how difficult it is to follow a Hall of Fame coach like he did at UConn. Kevin Ollie won a national championship. 4 years later, he's out of a job. Think about that for a second. Bruce Weber took Illinois to the championship game. 5 years later, he's out of a job. So it is very difficult to follow a Hall of Fame coach like Louisville and have the fan base. The fan base at Louisville is as rabid as Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas. Those are blue blood programs. That's a tough, tough job. Rick Pitino, I thought, had it rolling. Yes, they were doing some illegal things, but that's not the only program doing illegal things in college basketball. I think we know that by now. So I don't know who they'll get. Somebody will take that opportunity. But somebody like Chris Mack, I wouldn't do it. Sean Miller was thought his name was bantered around at Pitt, but no AD is going to touch Sean Miller right now because of the FBI probe. So it's going to be interesting. Louisville's going to have to get maybe an up-and-comer. I don't know, an assistant from a high major or maybe an associate head coach of a high major program. Because, look, Tom Crean was available. Thad Matta's available. But you didn't hear their names bantered about at Louisville. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Kevin McDuffie says Penn State winning the NIT. I agree. I don't know what kind of money the NIT championship brings, Jen. That's a good question. If any of you all know, let me know. Sean Levi. What's good, Sean? CDL in the house. I think he's still out in Denver. Good to see you on here, Sean. Carlos Perez Jr., thanks for jumping on. Coaches' longevity versus quick money is dying slowly for coaches who put in their time. Louisville should get an alum who is coaching for that job. That's a good call. Alum that would have love for that program. Do I think Miller was – you think Miller would still be fired at Arizona? It just depends on what comes out with this investigation, in my opinion. I do like how the administration stuck by him, though, among all those allegations. That took some heart. Big ups to the University of Arizona administration for staying by him. Christy Brown, thank you so much for the praise. Much appreciated. I couldn't do it without you guys. So much fun. Jim Dykes, man, you really on this coach's tip tonight, aren't you? We can't talk about Loyola in the Final Four, Michigan in the Final Four. Can't talk about that. You want to talk about Izzo or Michigan State? No, man. I ain't talking about that one. Avery Henry. Yeah, you think he was whining? I don't think so. But so tomorrow, 1:20 start, Villanova versus Texas Tech. 45 minutes after completion of that game, Kansas versus Duke. My voice is going out. I'm having so much fun. I'm going to go drink some Red Stripe. Like I did last night, I need some traveling music. It takes me about 10, 15 minutes to get home. I was banging Parliament Funkadelic last night. So I'm an old school funk man. I love me some hip hop, reggae, jazz, some Red Hot Chili Peppers every now and then, some Rascal Flatts. See, y'all didn't know I went country there. I do dig Rascal Flatts. So what should I be listening to on the way back home? Can y'all help me out? Let me hear what you got to say. Because I was singing, get up on the downstroke. Everybody get up. All right? Kid, you said that Red Stripe is the truth. One shining moment. Come on, Dan. I'm not talking about NCAA music. I'm talking about real music. Atomic Dog, Rob McDaniel. I like that. Atomic Dog. David C. Burton was good. What else, y'all? Olivia Newton-John says, you want me to fall asleep at the wheel? Aaron Janowski. House music. There you go, Oliver. Because you know I'm a house head. I'll go to SoundCloud and put Alan King's free mixes on there all day long. Chris Stapleton. Okay. I ain't up on that, Kenji. You know, I'm getting to be an old head. Try to listen to what my sons listen to, and I kind of cringe with these mumble mouth rappers who are out. So make sure you give me something good. Jill Brown Smith, that 104 will make you dance. I don't know. House head, Kevin McDuffie. That's right, baby. House music all night long. Jamie Principal. There you go, Aaron Janowski. See, I got some true house heads on here. Jamie Principal now. If you don't know house, you don't know Jamie Principal. So that's a great call. Let me see what else. Oh, Joel Colson Koppel, Red Stripe mine. Hooray for beer. So I got some Red Stripe at home waiting for me. I might throw in some Bob Marley. It's a little too chilly. I like to listen to reggae when it's warm. But I appreciate you all. Much love. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Have a great night. And until next time, peace.